Hello, everyone. In this short video, I would like to share some quick reference about flipped learning to supplement our discussion in class. Here are a few books that may help you to learn or know something about the flipped learning materials. Basically, flipped learning is not a simple model, and its success will depend on a lot of different factors, including, obviously, your overall pedagogical skills. And it can be a means for you to develop your pedagogical skills. Now, to start with, let's have a look at this book, which is a general reference about teaching in secondary school and middle school. And here is a section within a chapter related to tools and technology. Okay, so the author highlight the natures of flipped learning and discuss briefly here. We can zoom in to have a look. And here, so you can see the definition of flipped learning may not be so easily defined. And then later on in the rest of the paragraph, you also highlight that it relies on the teacher's strategies in the classroom, creating a lot of useful activities to involve and engage the students. And one key idea is also about conceptual understanding. Okay, right. So the next one I would like to share with you here. You can also find the book in our e-library. And this one is more generally about teaching math online. Okay, so it's called Teaching Math at Distance. It provides a lot of good practical guides to teachers and a lot of useful tools introduced here. So within this book, there's also a section under the titles of homework, actually, right? Consolidating and assessing learning. And within it, you can see one strategy is based on the flipped classroom. And so if you zoom in, then you will find that the author here distinguish between synchronous and asynchronous activities, right? Because basically the author is more interested in the online teaching. But it helps us to understand that the use of video, for example, is a part of the asynchronous activity. And it can also be considered as part of the assignments. And so it may help us to understand how the flipped learning model, in fact, is also the same as considering the continuities of teaching and learning within and outside the classroom, which we already may be doing in the form of homework assignments. Right? So we can offer a view to highlight how we see the flipped learning model as a whole. And there's also a quick example involved in this chapter as well. Okay, the third book I like to share here is also a good guide for mathematics teachers. Overall, it provides the practical ideas and skills. And in here, in this chapter, you can see that this is also mentioning about the flipped learning ideas. And it is also within a chapters about using technology. Okay, so it is also part of the consideration of the use of technology. And the author here listed some benefits as well as limitation, right, which can be very useful for you to understand some of the characteristics of the flipped learning ideas. So in short, we think that flipped learning lessons, according to the author, can work best for teachers as an occasional change of pace from regular lesson. So it's no harm, perhaps, to include it as one of the possible means of it generally in your teaching, even though you may not be using very regularly. Okay, another short article actually extracted from a magazine online is called CLIL. CLIL stands for Content Language Integrated Learning. Okay, so it is a magazine for subjects and language teaching and learning, not specific to mathematics, but there's a short article here talking about what can be wrong with the flipped learning model from a language teacher's perspective. However, you can also see here in this part of the article, the author highlight the rules of managing input, okay, which is similar to what usually language teachers will do. And this approach can also be applied to other subjects, including mathematics, okay? And he also emphasized very much the importance of questioning inside the classroom, right? If we want to compare with the flipped learning model and the usual classroom learning and teaching scenario, maybe you can also think about in what way the nature of the asking question may be changed or varied. Okay, now finally, another book I would like to share with you comes from some articles about tasks and goals and activities in the Singapore classrooms. Right, so the authors are basically professional members of an association in Singapore. And here in one of the chapter 9, is about designing and implementing activities in flipped classroom in Singapore primary mathematics classroom. So the author also provides some theoretical backgrounds about the flipped classroom and its origins, right? So which is also good for you to as a reference. And then they specifically describe a model, right, for the lesson mentioned in this chapter. So you can refer to this table here to see the model. Now, this is one way to see flipped learning. It may not be the usual way or the common ways. Okay, and you can see that they start with some exploratory activity in class, and then the flipped stage is in the middle one. But also with some what they call crafted video lessons. And then finally, we come back to the classroom for more advanced and application types problems. Okay, so that is one model within the frameworks of flipped learning. And then here are some examples. So you can scroll down to find out one particular examples in the primary school, but it is about angle sum in a triangle. In our case, actually, it is a topic in a secondary school. And then they also mention different elements inside the lesson, fitting together. Now, apart from the examples, I will also highlight the later part in the chapter, which talk about the teachers' evaluations and reflections, and which is very useful as well, because it's also highlight how the teachers treasure this opportunity as a kind of professional developments together, and even have elements of co-teaching. And so that's why I say at the beginning that the flipped learning model may not be easy. However, it can still be valuable as a whole for you to develop your skills in teaching individually or even together with other colleagues or other professionals. And then finally, you can see the summary here, right, the benefit. Now, and my point is not simply highlight what is good about the flipped learning, but you can see from the previous example as well, you will find that this, the success of the flipped learning depends very much on how you assess the students' needs and also assess their learning in the process. Sometimes we will even call it diagnosis, their problem or difficulties, and see how it can give feedback in time. And also as a whole, it is about differentiated instructions and cater for students' diversified needs. And therefore, actually, it involves a lot of important ideas in teaching and learning. So, and in the later themes in EI and CLI, actually, we'll also continue to talk about assessment for learning, and then equity and diversities in learning. And perhaps later on, related to those themes, we'll come back to some of these ideas of flipped learning again. Okay, so this is more or less the end of my sharing here today in this video. Okay,